Hey everybody, it's Britt and Cammie with Empty Nest to Travel. We are at Copper Break State Park. We just went to a planetarium show, and this park is actually a dark skies park, which means
that this is a place you can see the stars real good at night when it's dark. And in fact, this is supposed to be the second best place to do it in the United States.
So when we went to the planetarium, there was a big sign out there that says show in progress, please keep your kids quiet. Well, it's hard to keep kids quiet.
Especially when they're like 3 or 4, that good luck.
Yeah. So out in the lobby, there were some kids, and so we had to use voiceover over the
ranger and the people that were working at the state park. Now, they actually did a really good job. In fact, they have been very helpful for the whole trip.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy the planetarium show.
In this video, we're going to be doing what's called star hopping. We're going to be using the summer constellations and stars to help you get your directional bearings, and even just to find the constellations and stars up in the sky is pretty neat. The reason that we're going to use the summer months is because the constellations are really low in the sky at sunset. So we are going to look up at the sky in the park and fast forward to nighttime. We hope that you take the information that you learned today and put it to practice in finding the stars and constellations. And if anything, you can just show off to your friends about the night sky and what you've learned. We're going to start by finding the Big Dipper up in the sky. Once you find the Big Dipper, you know that you are looking north. You have to look up high, and the Big Dipper hides in Ursa Major. It's the Great Bear of the sky. Can you find the Big Dipper? Good job. Now that you found the Big Dipper, you can find the Great Bear in the sky. Next, we're going to find the North Star flares. You go to the very right edge of the Big Dipper, which would be east. You follow those 2 stars up, 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 and there you find Polaris, the northern star. The North Star is directly above the North Pole, hence where it gets its name. If you found the North Star, guess what? You have also found the Little Dipper. The North Star is the very last star on the tail of the Little Dipper. If you remember, the Big Dipper is Ursa Major, which is a big bear. The Little Dipper is Ursa Minor, which is a little bear. There's actually a Greek story behind these 2 bears and why they're in the sky. Zeus loved a human woman named Callisto. At the same time, he has a goddess wife named Hera. Hera finds out about Callisto, and guess what? She's not very happy about it. So she turns Callisto into a giant bear. Callisto has a son named Arcas, and he is a great hunter. Arcos goes out and he finds a bear to shoot with his bow and arrow. But he doesn't realize that the bear is actually his mom, Callisto. Zeus sees this happening, so he doesn't want Arcas to shoot his own mother. So Zeus turns Arcos into a little bear. He puts both of them up into the sky so they can be together forever. Now we are going to find Cassiopeia. We are going to be using the North Star, which is the tail of Ursa Minor, or the Little Dipper. And we are going to look towards the east or to the right for zigzag stars in the sky. If you remember the distance between the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, that's as far right as we're going to look for Cassiopeia from the Little Dipper. In just a minute, you'll see the zigzag up in the sky. After that zigzag, you're going to see an arc appear where that zigzag is. The story behind this star, Cassiopeia, is that she was a queen, and she was very vain and full of herself. She thought she was the most beautiful woman that ever existed, even among the ocean creatures. The god of the sea, Poseidon, saw this, and he was not very happy with her. And so he chained her to her throne and put her into the sky. Since the sky revolves around the North Star all year round, for about half of the year, Cassiopeia is stuck upside down, hanging onto her throne. And that is her punishment. Stay with me now as we find another star called Arcturus. To find this, we go back to the Big Dipper. We let the handle be our guide. We follow the arc up this handle. So there's Arcturus right there. It's pretty easily found. It's the fourth brightest star. When you're looking at it, you are facing west. This is inside the constellation Bootes. There's a simple story behind this constellation, Bootes. He was a plowsman and a herdsman. And you see his big plow in the sky. And since everything rotates around the North Star, it's as if him pushing his plow is what's keeping the sky in motion. Now, from Arcturus, we are going to head down to a double star called Spica. Spica is actually the brightest star in the constellation Virgo. Virgo should sound very familiar to you. It is associated with the Greek goddess Deer. It's the goddess of agriculture, and it's in the zodiac months of burial, which is August and September, relating to autumn. And it's just fitting that this is when it's time for harvest and time for fall to start. We're going to start a new path now. We are going to pan to the left from Virgo, and we are going to look for 3 of the brightest stars in the sky that form a triangle. This triangle tells us that about the season of summer. In July, it is straight up in the sky. You can see it all the time, but it's brighter in the summer months. From the southernmost star of the triangle, the bottom one, is called Altair. We're going to angle down to the right to find a teapot hanging in midair. This teapot is next to the Milky Way, and it is inside the constellation Sagittarius. This should also sound familiar to you. This represents an immortal named Chiron. He taught archery to famous Greek heroes, most notably Hercules and Achilles. One day, Hercules and Chiron were sparring, and they were really getting into it, and in the heat of it, Hercules shoots Chiron with a poison arrow. Now, Chiron is immortal, but he's feeling this intense pain that he cannot heal himself. So he goes to Zeus for help. Zeus and Chiron come into agreement with each other that the pain cannot go on. So Chiron is placed into the sky forever with his bow and arrow to practice with, so he will feel no pain. We're almost finished now. We're going to use this teapot to find Antares, which is a bright star next to the teapot. Once you've found Antares, you have found the tail of Scorpius. And they say that the teapot pours out onto Scorpius. The story behind this one is a man named Orion, which you know from Orion's belt, from the winter constellation. He is a hunter. He starts to kill all the animals in the world. A goddess sees this. She must have been the first animal activist, but I'm not sure. She became very angry at this sight. She sent a giant scorpion to fight with Orion. They are fighting each other hard. Zeus sees this brawl, and he puts a scorpion in the summer sky and Orion in the winter sky. Here they are forever chasing each other across the sky, and they will never be able to catch each other to fight again. I hope you found this information very interesting like we did. This is something that I'd never heard of before, so it was interesting to me to listen to and learn about. So here's a rundown of everything that we talked about in this video. Going back to the Big Dipper, follow the 2 stars on the edge up to the North Star Polaris, which is in the tail of the Little Dipper. Keep going towards the east, and you'll find the zigzag, which is Cassiopeia. If you go back to the Big Dipper, follow the handle to Arcturus, then spike down to Spica. Then going on a totally different path now, you'll look straight up. You'll have 3 of the brightest stars. Find the southernmost one, Altair, and follow it down to the horizon. Look for the teapot. Once you found the teapot, remember that it pours out onto the scorpion, Scorpius.